Summary of Canto 3, Chapter 2, Remembrance of Lord Krishna. In the previous chapter, we saw that Vidura had enquiries about the welfare of the Yadus and the Kurus. In the beginning of this chapter, Uddhava wanted to reply to Vidura's enquiries. However, the first 6 verses talk about Uddhava's exalted position. When Vidura inquired about his dearest Lord Sri Krishna, Uddhava couldn't reply due to excessive anxiety and remembrance of the Lord. In his childhood, Uddhava was so absorbed in worshipping the deity of Krishna that when his mother called him for breakfast, he just did not wish to have it. Uddhava's devotion did not slacken even in old age. When asked about the Lord's message, he at once remembered the Lord's lotus feet. Uddhava remained silent for one muhurta. His devotional ecstasy appeared increasing as he became submerged in the sweetness of Krishna's lotus feet in separation. Seeing the symptoms of Uddhava's bliss, his bodily transformation and tears of separation, Vidura could understand perfectly that Uddhava had perfected his love for the Supreme Lord. By his constant remembrance of Lord Sri Krishna, Uddhava always lives in the abode of Dwaraka. Uddhava soon came back from the Lord's abode Dwaraka to the human plane, meaning he came back to his external consciousness and he began to speak to Vidura in a very pleasing mood. Out of sympathy, Uddhava first brought out the philosophical conclusion in order to pacify Vidura, who was overcome with grief. So he said, Krishna, the sun, has set and our house has been swallowed by the snake of time. What can I speak about our welfare? Sun appears in the morning and gradually rises to the meridian and sets in one hemisphere while simultaneously rising in another hemisphere. Similarly, Krishna disappears in one universe and simultaneously appears in another universe and performs his pastimes eternally in Nitya Leela. The sun rises once in 24 hours. Similarly, Sri Krishna appears once in a day of Brahma. When the world becomes dark, snakes become powerful, ghost becomes active, the lotus is disfigured and the Chakravaki birds lament. Similarly, with Krishna's disappearance, the universe is put into darkness. Atheists feel enlivened and devotees become very sorry. This universe is most unfortunate, and the Yadus are even more unfortunate as they could not identify Lord Sri Hari as the personality of Godhead, just like how a fish considers the moon as just one amongst them, just because both the fish and the moon are born from the ocean. Although Yadus were highly learned and experts in psychic study, they could hardly understand the Lord completely. Still, the Yadus are very glorious because they had the opportunity to associate with the Lord and serve Him. Such devotees are different from atheistic people. The intelligence of the surrendered devotees is never affected by the words of those bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord. The Lord manifested His eternal form and removed it from the sight of those who have not executed the required penances. Uddhava then remembered the attractive beauty of the Lord. He said the Lord appeared by his internal potency in his eternal form, which is just suitable for human pastimes that astonish even Lord Vishnu. Thus, in his form, he is the ornament of all ornaments, Bhushana Bhushanangam. Uddhava reminded Vidura that actually you have directly witnessed the great auspiciousness of Sri Krishna. All the demigods assembled at the Rajasuya Yajna concluded that the auspicious beauty of Krishna surpassed the dexterity of Brahma in creating beautiful objects. But the attraction of the gopis, that is superior to that of the demigods. Uddhava speaks this out of his own experience in Vraja, having seen their love. The gopis, after their pastimes with Krishna, were anguished when he left them. They used to follow him with their eyes. They sat down with their intelligence stunned and they couldn't finish their household duties. They were so attached to Krishna. Although the Lord is unborn, he is Aja, he compassionately appears along with his Mahad and Amshas. And when, and, and when his peaceful devotees like Vasudeva are harassed by non devotees like Kamsa, he immediately descends to relieve their distress. These bewildering, apparently contradictory acts of Krishna always give me distress. Although unborn, he took birth. He lived in Vraja out of fear of an enemy. Though he is all powerful, he fled from Mathura. Because the Lord is all powerful and not like one of us, it is possible for him to adjust opposites. Lord Krishna begged pardon from his parents for his inability to serve them due to fear of Kamsa. All this behavior just pains my heart. Who, after smelling the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna even once, can forget it? Simply by raising his eyebrows, he reduced the burden of the earth. Uddhava remembered the magnanimity of the Lord who is merciful even to his enemies. Uddhava said, who can tolerate the separation from that all merciful Lord Krishna who gave envious Sishupal liberation, which is aspired even by the yogis? Others on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they attained Krishna's abode by being purified by the arrows of Arjuna and drinking with their eyes the lotus feet of Krishna. The Lord has unparalleled qualities. No one is equal to him or superior to him. He is the master of all threes, the three principal potencies, the three pairs of opulences, the three Purushavasaras, the three Gunavataras, the three modes, and the three worlds. He is supremely independent and all his desires are fulfilled as he himself is the husband of the goddess of fortune. He is worshipped by the eternal maintainers of creation with various paraphernalia. His feet is honored by millions of helmets that touch him. Although the Lord is so powerful, he still submits before Ugrasena. It is painful to remember the Lord submitting explanations before Ugrasena. What about the mercy given to Putana? Krishna gave the position of a motherly nurse to the envious and unfaithful Putana who came to kill him with her poisoned breast. How shall I take shelter of one more merciful than him? Aho bakiyam stanakalakutam jigam sayapaya yadapi yasadvi लेभे गतिं दात्री उचितं ततोऽन्यं कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम. I consider the demons to be the devotees because while fighting in enmity, they are absorbed in the thought of the Lord in anger, and while dying, they are able to see the Lord on Garuda with chakra. Although there is no difference between the Lord's pastimes of appearance and disappearance, devotees do not generally discuss about his disappearance. Therefore, Uddhava began narrating the pastimes of Krishna from his birth, although Vidura inquired him about the Lord's disappearance. Next, he spoke about the most wonderful pastimes in Vrajabhumi. Krishna was born to Vasudeva and Devaki at the request of Brahma for the welfare of the earth. Out of fear of Kamsa, Vasudeva brought Krishna to Vrindavan, where the Lord stayed with Baladev for 11 years like a covered flame. Krishna performed pastimes in Vraja's beautiful forest and on the bank of the Yamuna in the association of the cowherd boys and girls. Lord Krishna played the activities of a child to the Vrajavasis, and when the demons attacked, he appeared as if struck with wonder, but killed them just like a lion cub, like a Balasimha. While herding the cows and bulls, Krishna, who is the reservoir of all opulences, played on his wonderful flute and he enlivened the Gopas. In the course of his pastimes, Krishna casually killed all the Kamarupi demons sent by Kamsa as easily as a child breaks dolls. The Lord chastised and drove away Kalia and made the cows drink the poison-free Yamuna waters. Krishna desired to utilize Nanda Maharaja's wealth for worshipping the cows, and thus he gave a lesson to Indra by stopping Indra Puja. When Indra poured water incessantly on Vrindavan, the compassionate Lord saved the Rajavasis by lifting the Govardhan hill like an umbrella. Krishna performed the Rasalila pastimes as the central beauty of the assembly of women by attracting the gopis with his flute in the moonlit autumn night. This completes the summary of Canto 3, Chapter 2, Remembrance of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.